Hi, my name is Murray. I live in Malvern, Pennsylvania, just a few miles from where we're sitting right now. I was born at a time when the only time you really went to a dentist is if something was hurting. And for most of my early childhood, that's about the times I went to the dentist, when something was hurting. But my father had lost his teeth very early. My mother had lost her teeth. My brother was struggling with his as well. So I thought it was just sort of natural. Everyone that I knew had problems with their teeth like that. And then as I got older and started really going to the dentist more often, the dentist began sometimes talking to me and saying, "No, Murray, we got a problem. You've got some teeth that are missing by now. We need to fill some of those gaps in." So I began a process really of having my teeth fixed and crowns and bridges, those kinds of things put in. Most of them were removable, and a royal pain. Then I started still going to my dentist and had some root canals done, some teeth put in with post. They were always giving me problems. They were always an issue. I never will forget about 3 years ago, sitting on my porch and had company. And I bit down into an ear of corn. I love corn on the cob. And when my teeth actually bent, it bent up. I couldn't, it was a horrible, horrible experience. And I then very quickly went to my dentist the very next day. I was lucky to be able to go there. And he rectified the situation, but said, "Mary, we've got a problem. This is not ever going to be able to be fixed." I eventually had the root part removed. The gum line was messed up. It really never looked right. I was always very self-conscious about it. It really bothered me a great deal. By that time, I really didn't have a real tooth in my mouth. All of my teeth were either crowned or they were all crowned, permanent bridges put in. My smile looked all right. I was a teacher, and I was in the public eye every day. And no one really could tell because the dentist had done a pretty good job of sort of masking everything. But I was extremely uncomfortable and very often had aches and pains as a result of it. And if you've ever had a toothache, you know what I'm talking about. Well, about a year and a half ago, I went to my dentist and I sat down with him and I said, "Doctor, this is really what I think we need to do. You need to give me a plan for what I can do to salvage my mouth." I thought I was still relatively young. I certainly did not want to wear dentures, but I knew that was the direction I was going. And he laid out a plan, and it involved implants, but over a very long period of time, months, even years, and expensive, because he would do one procedure and an orthodontist would do another procedure. Eventually, it was a fairly expensive, extraordinarily tedious process. And then I started doing some more investigation. I contacted people in Costa Rica, Mexico, Israel. I mean, a lot of people were doing this procedure. But think about it, Nevada. They were in this country and abroad as well. And I talked to them. And some of them assured me that it was the best thing since sliced bread. Come on down, that fixed me up. Well, I was a little apprehensive about that because I thought, what if I have a problem? And can I just get on an airplane and fly to Costa Rica or to Israel that quickly, that easily? I didn't think so. Then surfing the web. And lo and behold, I found By Design Dental here in King of Prussia. And I thought, wow, it's just right down the road. I'm lucky that I live fairly close. So I called and talked and said, "Come on in. We'll have a consultation." I did. Let me tell you something. One of the best days of my life was when I came in here and started talking to Rand, Dr. McGarris. They were all extraordinary. They sat down with me. They went over the procedure, tried to allay any kind of fears that I might have. We began talking the nuts and bolts of it, what to expect. And I thought it was a good idea. I followed through. It was a little over a year ago now, and I can remember the day. Did I have some apprehension? Was I fearful even that morning? Yeah, I was. Downright scared, actually. But I came in, And I'd already met with them. We'd already done all the other X-rays and things. I pretty much had a very good idea of what was going to happen. They had prepared me extremely well for that. And sat down. The procedure began. The next thing I knew, I was being offered a smoothie, and I had new teeth. And let me tell you something. Just a few weeks ago, I had one of the most gratifying experiences that I'd had in a long time. I ate a full ear of corn on the cob, and it was delicious. And I didn't have to worry about the tooth bending or other teeth falling out at all. I was gratified. The people here have done such an extraordinary job of preparing me, getting me ready for what to expect. My temporaries that they put in initially, I looked in the mirror, and they actually looked. Luckily, I had, as I mentioned, enough work that my teeth looked fine from the outside. And so when I looked in the mirror and saw what was there, I thought, my gosh, they look like my new teeth, like my old teeth, but so much better. In fact, you know what happened? I was a little apprehensive about what they were going to look like. Rand, the man here who designs the teeth, actually took a picture with his phone of my teeth before they would be inserted into my mouth. Sent it to me. Murray, look at this closely, he said. Do you like the way it looks? How about the teeth, the size, the gum, all of that? Does it look like what you want? And all I had to do is say, you know what? They're perfect. They look beautiful. And then a few months later, then when I got the final teeth, I've been overjoyed with my teeth. I can smile, I can talk, I can eat. I do historic tour guiding in the city of Philadelphia, and I don't have to worry about a tooth bending or something untoward like that happening. I feel confident, and I owe it all, I really do, to By Design Dental. The doctors here, the staff, are some of the finest professionals, both with as far as the industry is concerned, as far as the housekeeping and the people who wait on you, the receptionists who greets you every time you come. They are highly, highly professional. I cannot enough recommend By Design Dental. They're some of the finest professionals you'll ever meet. And the decision that you make to come here and to have this procedure done, or whatever procedure you have done, rest assured, this is the finest place you could be.